Hey everybody, welcome back to Moving Matt. We do vlogs, travel, and some camera stuff. And today I'm going to be talking about the future of Canon cameras going into 2021 and what exciting and maybe not so exciting additions that are coming to the RF mount. So recently Canon Rumors released its Canon Cameras roadmap where they were able to piece together the most likely cameras based upon the different rumors and sources they have. So first I'm going to give you an overview of the cameras coming, and then I will discuss a little more detail about the particular cameras that stick out to me. Now, a quick note, this list does not seem to be in chronological order, but I am going to list the cameras as they have them, but this does not necessarily mean that this is the order they're going to be coming out as. First up, they say there will be a new entry-level camera to replace the Eos RP, but at an even cheaper price point. Now, if this is a cheaper replacement to the $1,000 RP, then I would assume it will be a full-frame camera, and to have a full-frame camera under $1,000 is pretty insane, and also a little confusing, but more on that later. Next up, since there will be such a large gap between a sub $1,000 camera and a $2,500 EOS RP, apparently Canon will also have a new camera to fill that gap, but apparently it will not be considered an EOS R Mark II. Canon considers the RP and the R to just be stepping stones that got them into the mirrorless market, so the naming scheme of these first two cameras are yet to be determined. Next we have the APS-C RF mount camera, which in the past Canon Rumors has referred to this as the EOS R7. They say they believe this will definitely happen in 2021, and to expect some smaller lenses to come in as well. This is one of the cameras I'm not so excited about, but I will go into some more detail about that later. Now they refer to this next camera as the worst kept secret, so Canon Rumors seems extremely confident that this camera is definitely a thing. And that is the high resolution EOS R5. It is rumored that this camera will have in the neighborhood of twice the megapixel count of the already large 45 megapixel R5. So yay, file sizes! Now I did do a video talking about this camera in the past when it was rumored alongside the possibility of a lower resolution video centric R5. I said then that I thought this camera was way more likely than the video version of the R5, and from its absence on this list it seems that Canon Rumors agrees. Next up we have the camera that I am most excited to hear more about, and that is the Flagship EOS R1. This camera's primary demographic is going to be sports photographers, so with the Tokyo Summer Olympics coming, then this camera can be expected at least in limited quantities before then. Now I'm not a sports photographer, but the rumors coming out about this camera so far have been pretty incredible, so we will see. And finally we have the Cinema Cameras. So according to Canon Rumors, we are still waiting on 2 more Cinema Cameras coming soon. The C50, the little brother, at least from a technical point of view, to the C70, and then the big brother, the EOS C90. They expect these Cinema Cameras to be coming in the first half of 2021. Okay, now that I've given you an overview, let me go into a few of the cameras that stick out to me for good reasons and also for bad. But before we get into it, if you're digging this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. So first let's start off with what I don't like about this roadmap so we can kind of end on a high note. The camera that really confuses me is this APS-C EOS R7. I personally do not see the need to make an APS-C camera moving into the RF mount. If the RP replacement and whatever sits between it and the R6 is real, then we will already have some great budget options in full frame. Now some people will point to the smaller size of the APS-C being an advantage, but with the recent release of the Sony A7C, I just do not see it being a valid reason at this point. Even Canon Rumors said in a previous rumor that the R7 may not be much smaller than the RP. I just think the downside of splitting R&R budget to another sensor size, along with trying to create more lenses for it, makes it not worth the effort. Having an APS-C camera on a full frame mount just makes a more confusing customer experience for newbies trying to jump in. They have to be explained to why one lens will work one way on their camera versus another. On top of all that, smartphones are getting considerably better with each passing year. Having a full frame sensor helps differentiate itself better from smaller sensors found in smartphones. The camera industry market is shrinking as a whole. Why invest more money into another sensor if you do not have to? But those are just my thoughts on it. Drop in the comment section below and let me know maybe if you see it a different way. Okay, so now that the negative is out of the way, let me talk about the 2 cameras that excite me the most, the EOS R1 and the EOS C90. So for me, I primarily shoot video, but I also shoot some photography. Also, when I shoot outside, I primarily shoot in very warm climates. So the thought of the R1, which most people believe will not overheat in any of the video modes, sounds awesome. On top of that, it is the Canon flagship camera, so it is rumored to have some pretty incredible features. A global shutter, 20 stops of dynamic range, 4K HQ at 60 frames per second, downsampled from 6K, and if I was a betting man, I bet it'd have 6K RAW. On top of all the high-end photography features is what makes me so excited to see what this camera has in store. The only thing that concerns me is the probable price point between $6,000 to $8,000. The 1DX Mark III is $6,500, so I doubt we'll see anything cheaper than that. Now onto the EOS C90. So considering I primarily do video work, I was this close to buying the Canon C70. Even though I still would have preferred to have a hybrid camera, that really wasn't the biggest holdup with the C70. My biggest holdup was the Super 35 sensor. Now I know that is the standard for cinema cameras, and I know having the dual gain sensor definitely made up for the low light and dynamic range issues, but I just didn't want my lenses cropped in on. I would want this camera for my B-roll as well as to be able to vlog with. I didn't want my favorite lens, the 15 to 35, to start at 24 after I applied the digital stabilization. And for that reason, the C90 excites me. Now I'm not 100% positive, but from what I've heard, it will basically be a full-frame version of the C90, something to maybe compete with the recently revealed full-frame Sony FX6. If that is the case, then this will be a hard camera to stay away from. My only concern is that this will cost $7,000+, and I find that to be likely. Still, I find it extremely intriguing and look forward to hearing more. Well, there you go. That is the Canon Cameras roadmap and a little bit about what I think about them. Drop in the comment section below and let me know, does any of these cameras excite you? Do you agree with my thoughts, or maybe you want to share some of your own? Drop in the comment section and we'll get a conversation going. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.